So, welcome everyone. Thank you so much for joining me this morning. So, some of you, lovely to see some familiar faces, and then it's really lovely also to see some of you, some new people as well. And it's really also lovely for those of you that have got your screen off, to actually see you. It just makes it more alive for me, rather than just talking to blank screens, like being able to see your faces. So if you don't feel so shy, it'd be really lovely to see you on the video. So let me just for those of you that don't know me, let me just introduce myself. So my name is Jyoti Kaur, although I recently got married, so I'm going to be changing my name. It's exciting. But for now, I'm still going with my yogic name, Jyoti Kaur. But I'm going to be taking back my surname. I'm going to also be taking on my husband's name as well. So I'll be Jyoti Connect Shaw. But I haven't done any of the legal stuff yet. So I have been teaching Kundalini Yoga for the last 11 years. And before that, I used to practice Hatha Yoga for a long time, many, many years in my youth. And then I came across Kundalini Yoga and it completely blew my mind. Just in one workshop, I was like, wow, this is really amazing. It really took a veil away from my eyes in a way that other yoga hadn't done. And I was hooked. And then I trained, and then I also became a teacher trainer. And so what I want to share with you today is really the technology of mantra and sound. And this is something that we use a lot in Kundalini Yoga. And the inspiration for this workshop actually came because I'm going to be running a retreat in October. And this retreat is on mantra. And I wanted to share some of the tools from that retreat for other people, just to share about the power of this amazing tool that we have for life, because we can really take it for granted. But when you start to understand what's behind it, the science behind it, and also the art of how to chant, then you can really take this into your life and use it as a tool. So please bear with me. Like at the end, I am going to be talking about a couple of courses, the retreat and a course that's going to be coming up in September. I just give you the heads up that there will be a little bit of a marketing spiel at the end. So I want to first of all just explain about japa. So japa is something that we practice in Kundalini Yoga, and japa is the repetition of a mantra. So when we repeat something over and over and over again, it has a very profound effect on your subconscious mind. And this is why I run these retreats. I've been running them for about 7 years, and we actually chant one mantra over 40 hours, which I know probably sounds like a lot. But when you chant, it really has an incredible power, and it also gives you a lot of energy. So I'll talk a little bit more about the retreat later, but it is a very, very transformational tool. And I feel very, very passionate about it. It's one of my highlights of the year, running this retreat. So when you're chanting, you are changing your vibration, and you're actually cutting through the limitations of the mind, and you're bringing yourself back to peace and harmony within yourself. So within the Kundalini tradition, there is mantra and there's also shabad. And so there can be lots of very simple mantras. One of the simple mantras that we use in Kundalini Yoga is Sat Nam. So Sat Nam is a mantra that we use a lot on the breath when we're doing the yoga, and we mentally chant it. So this is a mantra that helps to keep the mind steady. And it's like counting 1, 2, 1, 2, or 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, this is a mechanism in order to be able to keep the mind steady. So it's a very, very helpful tool, particularly if you've got a busy mind. The shabad is something very, very different. This is really a gift. And the shabad means sound, and guru means teacher. So it's like the sound current becomes our teacher. And if you break down the word shabad, sha just means ego, and bud, which is spelt bad, but bud, so shabad, the bud means to cut through. So what a shabad does is it cuts through the limitations of the mind. This is why it's so important. So it is a technology, and it starts to cut through the limitations, so the beliefs that we have and the traumas that we might be carrying and the negative thoughts and the limitations that we all have through our human experience. It starts to cut through all of those layers so that you can then connect back into your mastery. So this mastery is something that is inside of you. It is an energy, it's a consciousness, and it's there. I like to describe it as a diamond. This diamond is inside all of us, and then it gets covered in paint. You know, we have experiences that then cover this diamond up, you know, negative experiences, traumas, even ancestral things that we're carrying. It then dampens this down, but it's there within us. And so the Shabad Guru is this powerful tool to be able to then start to pick this paint off, because it cuts through all those limitations and brings us back to that purity, that consciousness that resides within us. And ultimately, it brings us back to supreme peace. And supreme peace is really what our essence is. So it's there within us. We just need to be able to access it. So this is an amazing, amazing tool. And a Shabad are also the words of an enlightened being. So in the Kundalini Yoga tradition, we are blessed to having many masters that brought this technology to us. So these are people, normal people who became enlightened. So they had an experience of samadhi, which is divine union. And that through that, going into that deep bliss, they then channeled the universal consciousness, which we call the unstruck sound, which is the anahata. And the anahata, it also relates to the heart chakra. The heart chakra is also called the anahata. So it's like this energy, this consciousness that comes from it's like the universal code that came through these people, these beings, these enlightened beings, as poetry. So they channeled it as words. So when you chant these words, it has a very profound effect on your subconscious, because it has a very, very strong vibration. And it starts to shake loose anything that's in your subconscious that isn't in alignment with that vibration. So this is why it's such an amazing tool. So chanting a Shabad is a process of purification. You're purifying the subconscious so that you can come back to that place in yourself that holds deep peace, that holds harmony. It's like it brings you home. And to just think also about the fact that the power of a Shabad or chanting a mantra, but particularly a Shabad, is that everything, if you think about even in the universe, everything is a vibration. Like our physical body is vibrating, and therefore we are affected by sound, even by the words that we speak. You know, if we're speaking unconsciously, that's also having an impact on us. But when we speak or when we chant in a very conscious way, because it has a vibration, it then also starts to change us on a cellular level. So it's like you can, if you're feeling any kind of dissonance in yourself rather than harmony, then using a mantra or a Shabad is a wonderful way of bringing yourself back into alignment, because that Shabad or that mantra has an alignment in it. It has like a code that brings you back into harmony. So if you're feeling agitated, if you're feeling tired, if you're feeling angry or exhausted or bored, or any of these resistances, anything that takes you out of alignment from your harmony, when you start to use this technology and start to chant it, you bring yourself back into alignment. And there's, you know, now there's lots and lots of research that shows that when you use sound, it has a profound effect on all levels of your being, through your mind, on your emotions, even on a cellular level. You know, it's changing your physiology. And so in Kundalini Yoga, when we're doing postures, we're also working with energy. You know, so we're moving the energy. And so using a Shabad or a mantra is like a yoga posture. It's there as a tool to purify. And when you start to move through a block, you open up a flow within you in the same way that yoga posture works. So using a mantra is actually a very gentle process. because it's like it gently starts to pull out. It's like combing your hair and pulling out all the knots little by little. You start to comb them out, and that's how the mantra works on your subconscious. And this is why when we chant over 40 hours, it has this profound effect, because little by little you start to dissolve those resistances that you've probably built up for lifetimes. So there's also we also want to talk about the nod as well. So the nod is the sound current, yeah, is the sound. And the word ard actually refers to the infinite. It's this infinite energy that flows through everything, that's always there. You can't dissolve it. It's what the universe is made of. So it's like, really, it's like it opens up the Shabad Guru, this sound as a teacher, the nod. And within that nod is this universal code, which starts to unlock your own consciousness. And it's like opening a door. So it's like opening a door to your higher self. So rather than living your life in limitations and through the limiting beliefs that you've built up, you start to respond to life in a very different way, because you're opening up a higher aspect of yourself. And just the technology of chanting is that you have 84 meridian points on the roof of your mouth. And so as you start to chant, then you move the tongue across the roof of the mouth like a map. And it starts to activate these different meridian points, which starts to have a profound effect on your endocrine system. So it balances your hormones. So this is why it's so good for depression and anxiety and other mental health issues, because you're bringing everything into balance. You know, the Shabad Guru, the mantras are there. If you remember, it's about alignment. So it's bringing everything back into alignment that may be off balance. And, you know, we're living in a place, a time now of a lot of stress. There's a huge amount of pressure on us in lots of levels. So, you know, if you can take this as a tool into your life and start to use it every day, you're going to help bring yourself into alignment. So not only does it work on activating the endocrine system, but it also works on the vagus nerve. And the vagus nerve relates to your relaxation response. So it helps you to relax much more deeply in your life every day. If you imagine that you're using a mantra or a Shabad, even just for a short time, you can start to create very, very deep changes in your physiology. And there's also been some research that's been done in the West that showed that mantra and sound works also on activating the neurons in the brain, and also works on activating the flow of the cerebral spinal fluid around the brain and also up and down the spine. So it brings this clarity. It helps to empty the mind of thoughts. It helps to start to balance and regulate the brain chemistry. So you can imagine, you know, even just for 11 minutes, which is what we're going to do today, you can start to have an experience of this deep change within yourself. Imagine what happens when you chant that over 40 hours, and, like, you know, how you start to create a very, very deep change on every level of your being. So your work, you're really changing yourself on a cellular level. And so, you know, what chanting and particularly a Shabad, it has this deep, deep effect on your psyche. So we're clearing out the subconscious. We're changing our emotional patterns. We're changing our mental state, because it actually helps to bring positivity. It changes us from a negative into a positive state of mind. And then we're also changing our physiology as well. So it's really this incredible, incredible tool to integrate into your life and use every single day to uplift you, even just for a few minutes. And this is why I want to teach you today this beautiful mantra meditation, which is a part of a Shabad, which you can then go and you could just use it for 11 minutes and you can start to notice very profound changes on all levels of your being. So do you have any questions before we go on? If you do, please just unmute yourself and ask a question, because I want to now teach the meditation. Is there anything that anyone wants to ask before we go on? Is it all clear? Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to just share the screen and just show you the mantra that we're going to be chanting. Okay, so can you see that, everyone? I can't actually see you. Hold on a second. Can you see the mantra? Yeah, brilliant. Okay, so this is part of the Jap Sahib, and the Jap Sahib was given to us by an enlightened man called Guru Gobind Singh. And in the Sikh tradition, he was the 10th Sikh Guru. He was actually a warrior. He became enlightened. Became enlightened, and he was during a time of war. And he actually channeled this Shabad, so his experience of the divine, in as words. So he's just describing his experience of enlightenment, of samadhi, or divine union, and that came through as words. So this persists. It's quite long. It's like half an hour. The Shabad, the Jap Sahib. So this is just a short part of it, which we call the Guru Gatri mantra. And this is a very, very powerful Shabad to work with your negative mind. So the negative mind is not always a bad thing. So, we think about negative being bad. Well, if we look at the functional mind that we have as a human being, we have a positive mind, we have a negative mind, and then we also have a neutral mind. So we need all three of those as human beings in order to make decisions, in order to live in life. We need a balance of all of those three. What tends to happen with the negative mind is that it can get very, very strong because of trauma, because of negative experiences that we have had. And so it's also called the defender aspect of the mind. So the negative mind, it's there to defend us. It's there to evaluate risks and to tell us, okay, is this safe? So if you think about, if you're crossing a road, you need to be evaluating, when is it safe to cross, if it's safe to cross, and you're going to be using your functional mind to do that. So the positive mind will be saying, yes, this is the time to cross. The negative mind will be saying, no, this is too risky. The neutral mind kind of comes above it and brings a clarity over a situation. So the negative mind is there really to keep you safe and defend you. But of course, it can get very, very strong when you have been through any kind of trauma. So it's really important to work with the negative mind. And I had an experience of this after my mum died 8 years ago. And after my mum died, I noticed that I was really fearful about other people dying around me, worried about my daughter and my partner. And it was a big thing. And so this is the defender aspect of the mind, wanting to protect, is looking out for danger. Oh my God, what's going to happen next? But of course, if it's out of balance, it actually stops you from being able to live your life. So you really want to bring the negative mind into balance, and it cuts very deeply through fear. And, even being born as a human being, we have fear. The whole process of being birthed through the birth canal and coming into a space of separation, even just from your mother, let alone the oneness that we have come from, sets up a deep-rooted fear. And that fear is etched into your brain, into your amygdala. And the brain is actually called the second heartbeat because it develops just after the heart. And this is where your deepest fears can be stored without you even knowing what they are. And they can play out in your life and you won't really know where they're coming from. So this Shabad works on that level of being able to then start to clear that deep-rooted fear. And if you think, how relaxed would you be if you didn't have to carry fear with you? I mean, fear also is very helpful when it's in its balanced expression. It helps us to move forward in life. It creates activity. So it's not that we want to be devoid of fear, because actually we can't. As part of our human conditioning, it's part of us because we live in separation from source energy or from oneness. And this is what our experience is in this 3D reality. But we can bring that fear into balance. When we've got too much fear, it can prevent us from being able to really live a full life where we can feel free, where we can feel happy, where we can feel contented, because that will be in the background. So when we chant, we are, first of all, tapping the roof of the mouth with the tongue, which then starts to change the secretions of your pineal gland, your pituitary. It works on your hypothalamus. It brings your brain into balance. It starts to affect your nervous system. So it, like, on a very just a physiological level, there's very deep changes that start to happen. So this particular Shabad, it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 beats. There's a rhythm to it. And this rhythm, we call it the Ashtang rhythm. This also has a very hypnotic state into the subconscious. This is also described as the 8 facets of God, but we are not talking about a religious God. We are talking God, really, it just represents an energy that you generate, that you organize, and that you deliver within yourself. So it's an energy that's in you. It's just that your own creative energy. We are all creator beings. We're, every moment in our lives, we are creating. And it's like, do we want to create consciously, or do we want to create unconsciously? And so when we can start to clear the subconscious, working with this technology, then we can start to live in a much more conscious way. So the 8 beats of this mantra then move into the subconscious. And that's my phone pinging. Let me just turn it off. And it actually brings a connection between the earth and the ether element. So this is said to be, this Shabad is said to exist beyond the word. So in the Christian tradition, they say, you know, that the first there was the word. In the yogic tradition, we talk about the nad, the sound current, the sound of the universe. And so in the descriptions of the Guru Gatri mantra, which is what this Shabad is, that it existed beyond word, because it is describing the energy that makes up the universe. It's the energy that sustains you. It's the energy that liberates you. It's the energy that elevates you, delivers you. It's the energy that destroys, if you think about everything rotting down, and then from that something new comes. So it's like, it's the energy that creates all of life. This is what this mantra is describing. And Yogi Bhajan said that if you chant this mantra, then you shall have no enemy, including your own ego, because it brings it into balance. So it eliminates blocks, it clears fear, it brings you to a space of compassion, and it also brings you into a place of patience. So deep patience. And this also gives you very, very strong, it's called a Shakti mantra. And a Shakti is your power, it's your creative power. When you chant this, it gives you this amazing power, primal power, which you can then use consciously in your life to be able to create the life that you want, rather than being in limitation. So let us chant this together. So just repeat it after me. So it's Gobinde, Mukande, Udare, Apare, Haryang, Karyang, Niname, Akame. So let's just repeat it a few times so you get used to the words. So it's Gobinde, Mukande, Udare, Apare, Haryang, Karyang, Niname, Akame. So we'll do it one more time. Gobinde, Mukande, Udare, Apare, Haryang, Karyang, Niname, and Akame. So because it has a vibration, when you chant a Shabad, and it starts to shake loose anything that is not of that vibration, sometimes it can bring things up. So you might feel emotion, you might feel uncomfortable at times, but it's just releasing the subconscious programming, you know, like a spot that you need to pop. I know it's not a very nice an analogy, but you know, it kind of works, is that it has to come out. Yeah, it's like we have to get rid of the pus. So it's like the same thing with the subconscious, like we need to clear all of that garbage out so that we can come back to feel this extreme, this deep sense of peace and harmony that is our birthright, actually. So we're going to chant it as a meditation, and we're going to chant it very slowly. So we chant it, and it takes about 15 seconds to chant it. And we're going to chant it for 11 minutes. So this is also a specific time that we use in Kundalini Yoga. Just bear with me because I need to plug my computer in. Okay, here we go. So within the Kundalini tradition, we work with specific numbers. So it's like there's a lot of like numerology that we use. So when we chant for 11 minutes, when we do anything for 11 minutes, we're working with the nervous system. So this is really great because it then helps us to feel that deep sense of relaxation that perhaps is hard to feel in our lives when we're feeling so full up. If we chant a mantra for 31 minutes, we're actually changing ourselves on a cellular level. When we chant for 22 minutes, we affect the mind. So we start to bring those three aspects of the mind, the positive, negative, and the neutral mind, into balance. So it's like with each of the numbers, it has a specific effect. So if you then think about chanting for 40 hours, how deeply that's really going to transform. It's like whatever you're holding in the subconscious, if you really want to move through a block, if you come to the mantra retreat and you do it for 40 hours, I mean, actually, we're not chanting for completely for 40 hours. It's broken up into two groups. And I can talk about that a bit later. We actually chanting for less time, but the whole weekend is 40 hours. It actually dissolves what you're holding. It's like if you've got a root in the subconscious that you want to clear, it dissolves it. And I've had very profound experiences over this retreat of the last 7 years. So when we chant, so japa just means to repeat, yeah. So it's like we're repeating a mantra. Usually, when we chant a mantra, it's usually when we're doing japa, it's quite quick, but we can also chant quite slowly. So we're going to do it on one breath. So it's like this. Gobinde Makande Udare Apare Hariang Gariang Niname Akame. And then we're going to inhale, and then we're going to go again. So with this, I want you to just see if you can feel the root lock. And the root lock is what we call the Mula Bandha. It's at the base of the spine. So it is a lock. So you're squeezing the muscles of the anus, your sexual organs in and up. So it's like there's a gentle pulsing of your root lock as you chant this. And this also then helps to move the energy. Remember, it's a vibration. So we want that vibration to be moving through every cell of the body. And then that's also going to affect your energy first. So as you're chanting it, it's like your pelvic floor, you're squeezing Govinde, Makande. As you chant, you're just squeezing that up a little bit. Once you've got the rhythm with the words, then you can close your eyes. If you can't get the words, that's fine. Keep the eyes open, but see if you can feel the sound current through your whole body. And it's like very, very deeply relaxing. So are you like all ready to go? It's like all good? Give me a thumbs up. Great. Okay, so you can bring your hands either in Gyan Mudra so you can just have the index finger and the middle finger connecting together, and then the fingers straight. So you've got little mini heart chakras in your hands, and you're going to just have the hands open. So you're bringing the arms straight onto the knees, or you can have them cupped in your lap. So you can have your right hand over your left, like a little cup. And you can just place that in your lap. So whatever feels more comfortable for you. Okay, so I'll start, I'll just chant it, and then you're just gonna join in with me and see whether you can just really start to feel the sound current as we go through this. Okay, so take a deep inhale and a deep exhale. It's gonna time us, and then taking a deep inhale and then an exhale, and then inhaling to begin. Govinde Makande Urare Apare Hariang Gariang Niname Akame Govinde Makande Urare Apare Hariang Gariang Niname Akame Govinde Makande Urare Abare Hariam Gariam Niname Akame Govinde Makande Urare Abare Hariam Gariam Niname Akame Govinde Makande Urare Abare Hariam Gariam Niname Agame Govinde Makande Urare Abare Hariam Gariam Niname Agame Govinde Magande Urare Abare Hariam Gari Niname Agame Govinde Mukande Urare Abare Hariam Gariam Niname Agame Govinde Magande Urare Abare Hariam Gariam Niname Agame Govinde Magande Urare Abare Hariam Gariam Niname Agame Govinde Mugande Udare Abare Hariam Gariam Niname Agam Govinde Mugande Udare Abare Hariam Gariam Niname Agame Govinde Makande Urare Abare Hariam Gariam Niname Agam Govinde Mugande Urare Abare Hariam Gariam Niname Agame Govinde Mugande Urare Abare Hariam Gariam Niname Agam
Govinde Mugande Urare Abare Ariya Gariya Diname Agami Govinde Mugande Urare Abare Hariya Gariya Diname Agami Govinde Mugande Urare Abare Hariya Gariya Diname Agami Govinde Mugande Urare Abare Hariya Gariya Diname Agame Govinde Mugande Urare Abare Gariya Gariya Diname Agame Govinde Mugande Urare Abare Hariya 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 Gariya Diname Agame Govinde Mugande Udare abare ariya ariya diname yakam Govinde mugande urare abare ariya ariya diname yakam Govinde mugande urare abare ariya ariya diname yakame Govinde mugande urare abare ariya ariya diname yakame Govinde mugande urare abare ariya ariya diname agame Govinde mugande urare abare ariya ariya diname agame. And then inhale, closing the eyes, holding the breath in, and then squeezing the root block. So this is the muscles of the anus. You're pulling in and up, sexual organs in and up, navel to your spine, visualizing that energy traveling all the way to the top of your head, tongue in the roof of your mouth, circulating this energy to every cell in your body, and then exhaling and relaxing. And just taking a few moments, keeping the eyes closed. Just sit in the energy of this Shabad and feel it. Feel that vibration. So you might notice tingling, you might notice heat, fizzing. Just observe, stay in that, and notice the effect it has on your body. See if you can just drop into your heart center. And just noticing how it feels to just reside there. Noticing the feeling through the body. So now just opening your eyes and just coming back. So just wondering how that felt for you. Did you feel like you were able to get into a rhythm with it? Because it's really about your own rhythm. How did you feel at the end of the meditation? Does anyone would like to share how that was for them? You can just unmute yourself if you'd like to share something about it. Or any resistances that may have come up. You know, it may be that you've like some maybe frustration or irritation arose. That's also fine. Remembering we're purifying the subconscious, so these things can bubble up to the surface. Would anyone like to share? Anyone feeling like brave?
Hi, sorry, I don't think I've got my camera working. Yeah, it took me a while to get into it. Even though I've done that before, I don't think because I haven't done any for so long, for a while anyway, it took me a while to get into to memorize the words. But it was,
Yeah,
I really felt kind of. I didn't realize it was only 11 minutes, see, because I'm used to doing much longer ones now. So it
yeah,
went so quickly.
yeah,
So it'd be good to do a longer one. I'd like to do a longer one.
for sure. Well, you can come to
Yeah.
come to the mantra retreat and you can do 40 hours. You can immerse yourself.
Yeah, yeah. No, it's very powerful, isn't it?
Very,
Anyway, thank you.
thank you. Does anyone else like to anyone else like to speak, share?
I just enjoyed
Who's
enjoyed the sounds, the words were just beautiful. I thought the whole rhythm and the sort of
yeah.
creation that started to come a bit.
Were you able to get the words?
Well, yeah, I got the beginning and then I got the end, and the beginning went and then the end went, and it.
Yeah.
So I was
you know,
trying to get there.
it's one of those things that takes practice. You know, it's the more that you can familiarize yourself with these words, because initially they can be a bit of a tongue twister, and that's fine. And then as you start to okay, Carlene, thank you. As you get used to it, then you know that you get into a rhythm with it. It really then embeds in the subconscious. So this is like why it's such an amazing tool for life. You know, it's like when you come on a workshop like this, it's like take something with you. You know, it's like you take this with you and then go and use it and then start to notice how that changes you in your life, even if you just do it 11 minutes a day. As I said, if you do it 31 minutes, you're going into a much deeper meditation because you're working more on a cellular level. But even 11 minutes is it's going to help to bring balance to your nervous system. And just to talk about a couple of events that I've got coming up. So in September, I'm teaching a women's course. So this is on a Tuesday and a Thursday morning. You can either choose which day you come on. On a Tuesday, it's also online. Thursday, it's just in person. But we're going to be exploring the different mantras in the Kundalini tradition to find the mantra that really resonates with you to support you in your life. This might be the one. You might think, yeah, you know, this is the mantra that really speaks to me. But there's hundreds of different mantras in the Kundalini tradition. They all have a different energetic effect. Some work on intuition, some work on creating on expanding your auric field so that you feel more protected. They work on lots and lots of different levels, clearing karma, for example. So on this course, it's actually a 12-week course. So we come together as women and together we delve deeply into the mantras. We learn them. We're also doing yoga as well that aligns to each of the mantras. So if we're chanting a mantra for fear, we would also be doing a class. So we call it a kriya, yoga postures to then also align the mind and the body so that you're releasing fear through the physical too. And then also the japa that I'm doing in October. As I said, I have run this for 7 years. And it really is a transformative practice. If you're stuck in something in your life and you really want to let it go, you want to move through it, I would recommend coming on this weekend because it dissolves the pain, whatever pain that may be that you're holding. So 4 years ago, I had a little boy that was stillborn, and the Japa retreat helped me to heal that wound. It literally dissolved the pain. And I was able to, at the end of that weekend, I was able to come into my heart and to really accept, okay, this is, for whatever reason has happened. And I was able to really come into a place of acceptance and peace about it. So it could, people come for lots of different reasons. I've had people that are grieving the loss of their partner. I had someone come who lost his wife after 35 years. He also had a huge breakthrough. Often on the Sunday morning is the sweet spot. People really open up to something very profound. And so I would really, if you feel a call, I would encourage you to come and do it because it is amazing. We are in 2 groups. So you're not chanting the whole time. It's like a relay. one group holds the energy, and then the other group will sleep and rest or eat, and then we swap over and we just keep the energy going. So we start Friday night on the 20th of October, and then we finish on the Sunday lunchtime, and we have a meal, a celebratory meal together. And we're doing it in Paddington Farm in Glastonbury. So we're right underneath the Glastonbury Tor. So it's like a very high energy place. So you can walk to the Tor in your breaks. It is dorm rooms. I know that some people don't like that, but that is reflected in the price. And there is an early bird price at the moment of £230 for the weekend. That includes your accommodation, includes your food, and it includes the experience. So if any of you are interested in any of my offerings, then please drop me a message. You can contact me through my website where you booked with this link, or you can contact me on WhatsApp. I'm really happy to talk to you in person more about it if you'd like more details about it. But just really stay open to the possibility, because it is such a transformative experience. And I encourage you to take this mantra, the Guru Gatri mantra, into your life and start to use it, and see what effects it starts to have for you. And please share it. You know, it's like, this is technology. We need to get out there. Lots of people are living in fear, and it can really help to uplift others. So please share it. I'm really happy to send the recording out to you if you like it. I'm also going to be teaching this same workshop on the 2nd of September. You're very welcome to come back and do it again. I'm also going to be teaching it with a colleague of mine that's going to be running the japa. So she's also an experienced Kundalini yoga teacher, and she's going to be sharing some of her experiences of working with mantras and shabbas over the time that she's been teaching. So you get a bit more of a personal flavour. But we'll also do the meditation again. And yeah, so unless you've got any questions, that is all from me. So thank you so much for listening. How are you all doing there?
Thank you so much. I recommend everyone to go to the retreat. I'm just gutted I can't make it this time. I'll be disappointing so many people if I come. My energy will be wasted by everyone cursing me for being for leaving them at the
Surely not.
time of the year.
Yeah, I know, it's a very special festival for you, isn't it? Yeah.
When are you doing it again? Because I
do it once a year, because it's such a deep process. You know, we are chanting for 40 hours and then we're processing for at least 40 weeks. So
yeah, I really needed to do it, actually. I really needed it as well. But hey ho, I'll chant.
Chant. Yes, exactly.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you very much, everybody. It's been really lovely to share this experience with you. Does anyone have any questions before we close the space?
Right. The words up again, so I can just take a photo of them.
Yeah. I can also send you this as an attachment as well in an email if you'd like it. So if anybody would like the recording, if any of you would like this email to you, then please drop me a message and I can do that.
Could I just ask, is this the mantra that you're going to be using on the retreat?
It is, yes.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, lovely people. So thank you so much for joining me. It's always really a pleasure to share this technology with you, because I just feel so passionate about it, because it's so profound and life transforming. And thank you so much for joining me this morning. And I really hope to see you again sometime. Satna, thank you so much. Bye bye.
Bye.